As raptors, or birds of prey, like hawks and eagles, owls hunt, kill, and consume other creatures using their razor-sharp talons and bent bills. However, owls differ from hawks and eagles in a few ways. The vast majority of owls are tall, with soft feathers, short tails, reversible toes that can point either forward or backward, and enormous heads. Owls' eyes face forward, like humans do. Many owl species are only active at night. Around 250 different owl species can be found worldwide. Except for the icy Antarctica, they can be found on every continent. Many owls have distinctively low vocalization frequencies, which enable their sounds to travel long distances untouched by vegetation. Finding and identifying owls will be much easier if you become familiar with these songs and other vocalizations. Let's see about some species of this weird animal. Great horned owl. With its long, ear-like tufts, intimidating yellow-eyed stare, and deep hooting voice, the great horned owl is the quintessential owl of storybooks. Although this formidable predator can take down birds and mammals that are bigger than it also eats smaller prey, including tiny scorpions, mice, and frogs. One of the most widespread owls in North America, it can live in practically any semi-open habitat between the Arctic and the tropics, including backyards, cities, wetlands, woods, grasslands, and deserts. Eastern screech owl. Small, bulky, and necklace owl with a huge head. Pointed ear tufts are often raised. Color varies from gray to bright rufus. Complex pattern is ideal for hiding against tree bark. Yellow eyes. They are most active at night, when they hunt small mammals and birds. More often heard than seen, listen for its descending whinny and longer trill. Inhabits cavities, such as nest boxes, to roost and nest. Discovered in a range of settings with trees, especially those close to water. Spotted owl. A medium-sized owl is usually found in mountainous areas with a mixture of conifers and oaks. Brown overalls with large white markings on the belly and back. Unlike most other owls, the barred owl has black eyes, which causes the most misunderstanding. The spotted owl lives up to its name since it lacks clear vertical stripes and has much more noticeable patches on its chest and belly than the barred owl. Also note the voice. One hoot, followed by a pair of hoots, followed by a final single hoot. Two separate populations. Compared to birds further south and inland, birds around the Pacific coast and the Sierra Nevada tend to be a darker, deeper brown. Great gray owl. A big, mysterious owl that inhabits bogs, meadows, and coniferous forests. When it perches silently at the edges of clearings at dawn and dusk, this endangered species' hunting behavior is most frequently observed. Feeding mainly on voles. Great grays can be seen in great numbers south of their regular northern haunts when vole populations drop, especially in the winter. The distinction between great gray and barred can be made by their yellow eyes and white collar bowtie pattern. Rarely does anyone hear its deep hoots. Burrowing owl. Small, long-legged owl of open grassy habitats. From a distance, it seems brown with sporadic white spots. Yellow eyes. Usually seen lying on the ground or perched atop low rocks or fence posts. It hunts primarily for insects and small mammals during the day and night. It stands upright and suddenly bows down when agitated. Burrows that a prairie dog or tortoise often digs to build its nest. Northern saw-whet owl. Small owl found in the northern forests and western mountains of the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Favors environments with conifers and dense undergrowth. They're fairly common, but they're shy and difficult to spot. General pattern of brown and white, with streaks of white on the forehead and blotches of rusty brown below. No ear tufts. The number of migrants varies substantially from year to year, yet the area is migratory. Saw-whet is a tiny bird with a richer orange-brown streaks on its underparts and streaks on its forehead. Western screech owl. A pint-sized, cryptically patterned gray owl with fine streaks of black and white and short ear tufts. Various forested settings where it can be found include. However, it prefers riparian and deciduous regions. Can be found in urban areas and parks. Primarily consumes insects, birds, and small mammals. Nests within cracks. Listen for its voice at night, a series of short whistled notes that accelerate at the end. They are only available in the gray color morph, not the rufous color morph their counterpart, the eastern screech owl. Elf owl. A sparrow-sized owl, one of the tiniest in the entire globe. Pattern of rufous, gray, and white. The flammulated owl and elf owl are most similar in appearance. The elf owl, on the other hand, is distinguished by its size, habitat, and the presence of white brows and yellow eyes. Found in brushy forests and the surrounding desert, where they nest in natural cavities. Or abandoned woodpecker holes in trees and cacti. Listen for a descending whiny chuckle or single mewing note around dusk to find this nocturnal species. Migrates south to Mexico for the winter. Screech owl. As with all screech owls, it is much easier to identify by voice, a short, rapid trill with a pop at the end. Look for a grayish-brown or rufous bird with delicate markings, such as thin lines on the underparts, if you're fortunate enough to spot one. The face has a black border. Sexes alike. Found in woodland environments, occasionally emerging into wide, shrubby fields or gardens with solitary trees. The most common screech owl in the area.